back to Suncorp Stadium. NRL Sunday continues as the Newcastle Knights warm up at the northern or Caxton Street end of Suncorp Stadium. And they are without three key players this afternoon. Of course, Kurt Gidley, Danny Badiris and Steve Simpson. A lot resting on the shoulders of Jared Mullen, the number 7, who will captain the side this afternoon. But the Brisbane Broncos have 7 players backing up from State of Origin on Wednesday night. They'll be backing up feeling a lot better than any other lot of players have backed up on the weekend, because they will be victorious. A short time ago I managed a quick chat with their captain, Darren Lockyer. Well, Darren, a big week for the Queensland boys. How's the preparation for this game been? That State of Origin has to be forgotten, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think the guys that played on Wednesday night need to bring a good attitude here today. The young guys showed Monday night against the Seagulls, what they're capable of doing, so it's up to us.
Of course, Newcastle a little bit weakened today, but that makes them even more dangerous at times, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's no easy games, no matter who takes the field, and they're always difficult every week. For us, performances have been too inconsistent today. We really need to play well.
Is it desperate stakes yet?
I wouldn't say that. I think attitude is where it needs to be better. At the moment, it's as I said, it's been inconsistent. We really need to start performing consistently every week.
Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Darren Lockyer there, the captain for the Broncos, and as a group, the players I would think, Gary Freeman, that find it the toughest to back up would be the front rowers, and Petro Sivanasuva, he has a big job this afternoon to take this Brisbane side forward.
Oh, look, I don't think you'll find it that tough. I think when you back up after a State of Origin game and the sort of football that he's been playing, you'll actually enjoy the contest. That you know that you've got to play your best to try and get your team a win. Look, he has been inspirational week in, week out. Probably, I believe, the Broncos' probably best player so far this year, because he's the guy that they go to all the time. When they're on their own goal line, he's the man who puts his hand up and says, give me the ball, you young blokes, I'll show you the way to go forward. And if he can produce that sort of form that he's shown so far in 2007, we'll go a long way in them winning the game. And Carlo's been demoted, I put it, to the bench, and he's got a lot to prove. And I've taken after Webke, everyone's looking for him to do those inspirational runs at the same time. Now, he's a different style of player. He likes to get on the edges and try and use the offload as much as possible. He can run into holes, but he needs people inside of him to actually create opportunities for him. Now, that's going to come down to the young guy in Lockyer. Lockyer's got to go line, take Carlo with him, and then try and put him into a hole. And I think you'll see the best of him when he comes from the bench.
Well, Newcastle have a big task today to take on the Broncos, and they have named Jared Mullen as captain today. And a short time ago, I caught up with him. Well, Jared, big week, State of Origin debut, and now captaining the Knights for the first time. It's been a terrific 7 days, apart from the loss, though.
Yeah, it has. It's been a pretty big buzz. Obviously State of Origin at a young age. It was a real good effort, I thought, by us, but just slipped away at the end. So hopefully bounce back today. What's
the feeling like? Of course, you've lost Badiris, Simpson, Gidley. It's going to be a tough day today.
It is. They're the senior players and they're class players, but we've got great young juniors coming up, and they get a chance today to show what they can do. What are you expecting from the Broncos? They're big. They're getting forward. Their big forwards always get forward for them, and using their backs, Carmichael and Lockyer. They've got a pretty good combination, so we're going to have to watch out for that. Good luck. Cheers, mate.
It's a big ask for him, isn't it? He's backing up after State of Origin. He's only a young bloke, and now he's been named captain against the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. But I think he can handle it.
Oh, I think he'll handle it, no problems. I think that what he would have learned after State of Origin, number one, is that you've got to get yourself involved in the game. You can stand back and wait, but in the end, that doesn't do you any good. You've got to be able to attack the opposition as much as possible. And look, he's done it before, and he'll keep doing it for the rest of his career in this game. But the thing about Jared Mullen, today's game is all about getting himself back on track, run the football as much as possible, take players with you, create opportunities for other people, but also just make sure you keep turning those big Brisbane forwards around. If you can do that, that'll go a long way, and then maybe get an opportunity to win this game here today.
They've lost a lot of experience, the Newcastle Knights, today, but they do still have some very handy footballers, particularly Clint Newton, who's playing his 100th first-grade game. Of course, he's had a checkered career with injury, but they need him to stand up today.
Well, the big thing about Clint Newton is that he is one of the guys who's willing to do all the hard stuff around the ruck. We talked about Sivanasuva doing that for the Brisbane side. Well, this guy here stands up week after week along with Kurt Reynolds, and they're willing to take the ball forward, make all those hard tackles, and he's a player who I thought may be given the captaincy today, but he's been overlooked for the younger player and halfback who's going to do all the controlling. But Clint Newton will still be one of the key figures in today's clash.
Do you think they can win Newcastle, or is it just too big an ask for them?
Mate, I think it's going to be very, very tough for them. I'm going with Brisbane. I just think the players that have backed after the State of Origin, what I've seen so far over the weekend, have played enormously. They've really given them a little kick along in their football, and I think they'll win the game. It won't be by much, but they will certainly win the game, Brisbane.
It's going to be an interesting battle. The Brisbane Broncos up against the Newcastle Knights on NRL Sunday. The Broncos warming up in their dressing room underneath Suncorp Stadium. The Newcastle Knights we saw earlier out on the ground getting ready for what should be a terrific game. Beautiful conditions here in Brisbane. It's NRL Sunday Live. The Brisbane Broncos taking on the Newcastle Knights. Who will win? Can the Broncos get off the bottom of the table? We'll find out very shortly as you rejoin us on NRL Sunday.
It's the Broncos and the Knights on Fox Sports.
It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Brisbane as NRL Sunday comes to you live from Suncorp Stadium with the defending premiers sitting on the bottom of the table and the Newcastle Knights having to back up from State of Origin with 3 of their key players missing, Kurt Gidley, Danny Badiris and Steve Simpson. Will it be a Broncos afternoon or will it be the Knights? We'll find out in about an hour and a half from now. A number of team changes to both sides. The Newcastle Knights, as I mentioned, have lost Gidley, Badiris and Simpson. The side now reads Stephen Gordon at fullback. James McManus is on one wing. Cooper Vuna, who was signed during the week from the Warriors, is on the other wing. McDougall and Ty the centres. Marvin Caruana and Jared Mullen the halves. Mullen will captain the side just a few days after his State of Origin debut. Riley Brown replaces Badiris. Kate Snowden comes in for Simpson. And the new player on the bench is Daniel Tolar. The coach is Brian Smith. The Newcastle Knights have changes, so too do the Brisbane Broncos. Brent Tate comes in on the wing. Darius Boyd moves to the centres with David Stagg going into the back row. Shane Perry is out. He played Queensland Cup for Redcliffe yesterday. Michael Ennis is the new halfback in 16. Ben Hannett will start the game in the front row in 15. Dane Carlaw goes to the interchange bench. Tony Carroll moves from second row to lock. Greg Eastwood goes onto the interchange bench. And of course the coach for the Brisbane Broncos is Wayne Bennett. Joining me in commentary, Gary Freeman. And Gary, as we look at the Newcastle players getting ready to come out on Suncorp Stadium, it is a monumental task for them this afternoon, despite the fact that Brisbane Broncos are below their best in terms of form. Yeah, it is a big ask for the Newcastle side here today, but one of the players I'm really looking forward to see play for Newcastle is Mark Tafua. He's been strong in the second row for Newcastle. Really, he hits like a steam train. He loves taking the ball to the line. He's one player that I'd be saying, watch out today, because he can actually create some opportunities for his inside man. And he's not too scared to take the ball forward. That's what you need in the side. Look, all week, Bryce Smith would have said to these young guys, there's an opportunity that these 3 players may not come back in the side, and Gidley and Simpson and Badiris. You know, you have an opportunity now to play against probably one of the best teams in the competition, the Brisbane Broncos. So I think they'll be looking forward to it. You know, instead of being worried about it, they'll be saying, let's go out there and try our best, and let's try and put them under a little bit of pressure. Newcastle supporters are here. Numbers very well supported side right around the country, the Newcastle Knights. There's Steve Simpson. How they'd love to have him out there for this afternoon's game. His experience in particular, because the forward pack, Kirk Reynoldson, Tafua in there. Clint Newton will play his 100th first grade game. There is some experience. Josh Perry, of course, has played State of Origin, but it is a young Newcastle side that makes their way out on the ground, led out by Clint Newton playing his 100th first grade game. but there is some players that really have to stand up this afternoon, show their experience and help these young players on a stage which is one of the biggest in the game of rugby league. Suncorp Stadium in front of a pretty healthy Sunday afternoon crowd. And there's one of those men, Kirk Reynoldson. He's got plenty of experience. He's playing in the forward pack this afternoon, and he's had a pretty good start to season 2007. And he, along with some of his more experienced teammates, will need to show the youngsters the way.
Well, he will certainly show them the way. He's a leader of this forward pack, along with this bloke out here, Adam McDougall. You can see the amount of, in round 9, the amount of runs he has, and the bust. That's the sort of football. They've got to get plenty of clean ball out to Adam McDougall as quickly as possible. Let him take on the opposition. And this kid here, if he has a good kicking game, one thing I'd be saying to him, and Brian Smith, is make sure you kick nice and early. Keep trying to turn the big Brisbane Bronco forwards back around and get them chasing the football on a very, very hot day up here in Brisbane.
Maybe hot for you, but not for locals. It's a beautiful day, about 24, 25 degrees.
Well, it's hot just walking here.
The Brisbane Broncos, they need to stand up today. They currently sit on the bottom of the table. They do have a bye in hand. Can they answer the challenge? They've got the experience, they've got the players there, there's no doubt about that. They need to turn their form around though. And Darren Lockyer leads them out onto Suncorp Stadium, followed by Petro Sivanasiva, Tony Carroll, Carmichael Hunt. It's an awesome side that's just been playing, as Darren Lockyer said before the game, without the right attitude at times. Maybe that attitude will be on this afternoon. And Steve Michaels is a player that's going along a little bit unnoticed so far this season. He's played in all 10 games in the year, and he had a terrific game against Manly last week, and he'll be looking to continue that on this afternoon.
Well, that's one thing with these young players that he's decided to bring in. Here, Darius Boyd, a very, very quick and great runner out of the dummy half area. One other thing I like about this kid here is that he just turns up at the right times. And one thing they'll have to do today with Michael Ennis, got to watch his kicking game and passing game. Ben Cummins, his 21st grade game. Very good young referee.
He'll referee a grand final within 3 years. Gary?
Oh, you just put the mock on him.
Maybe even 2.
Leave him alone. Even our producer Rick is going to pull a heavy.
We're underway. NRL Sunday live from Suncorp Stadium. The Broncos defending the northern or Caxton Street end of the ground. And having first use of the football as Ben Hannett has hit in a very solid tackle. 13 metres out from his own line. Up towards the 20 goes Sivanasiva. And there's numbers in the tackle there for the Newcastle side. Last man up is Riley Brown. Here's Brent Tate up to the 30, just over it. Carmichael Hunt out of acting half, trying to pick up some easy metres, almost ducking under the tackle there of Cade Snowden. Finds himself 10 short of the halfway line. Brisbane's end of the field. They're going to kick early out of acting half from Sean Berrigan. He was outside the 40, but a nice bounce there from the number 5, Stephen Gordon. But a terrific chase, and Tony Carroll leading the way for the Brisbane Broncos. Here's Cooper Vuna, who this time last week was living in Auckland.
Must be a big ask for the kid to come over and be let go by one club, the Warriors, and then come over here and start your first grade career again with the Newcastle Knights. He certainly won't go out there and let them down. He'll put his best foot forward. Once again, just saw then, first set of 6, the Newcastle side looking to spread the ball because they know that the Brisbane side play a short line in defence.
Here's Mullen. He turns the ball inside to Snowden, who's tackled just on the 40-metre line. Newcastle into the field. That's the last tackle here for the Knights. So they get to their kick, and he's outside the inside the 40, I should say, Jared Mullen, but Carmichael Hunt takes it on the fly and then links up with Brent Tate, who stumbles as he comes to the defence of Marvin Caruana. 30 out from their own line. Here's the Broncos through Michaels. Clint Newton making the tackle. His 100th first grade game here this afternoon. Thorne up towards the halfway, just a couple of metres shy of that mark. These two teams, of course, have already met this season back in round 6. Brisbane running out 20 points to 16 winners. Different side taking them on today. The Newcastle Knights decimated by injury. Lockyer. Now it comes to Hodges, stepping, unloads, back to Michael Ennis. He turns it inside to Tate. Tate runs away from one, can't get away from another. And so the Broncos, 35 out on the last tackle. Here's Lockyer now, putting it high in the air. It's into the sun too. It's a difficult take for McManus, who does terrifically well. Great take into the sun, under the pressure from Steve Michaels, and they get a penalty.
Well, you picked it under all sorts of pressure, and that won't be the only bomb he'll be getting today. Lockyer, a beautiful kicker of the football, McManus. One thing that the kids at home should be watching here, Mark, never took his eyes off the ball, leapt up nice and had control of it all the way through. Penalty then against the Brisbane side. One thing they've got to do, though, even that first set of 6, they try to go wide, but sometimes with the Brisbane side, you've got to go forward. You've got to make holes down the middle of the ruck this early in the game.
Here's Newton, 5 into Brisbane territory. Riley Brown is the man at acting half. Perry, Mullen cuts out one ordinary ball. Caruana picks it up. They lose some metres there, the Knights, and Tony Carroll is up there to make the tackle. Here's McDougall. Now it comes to that man that Harry Freeman was talking about. Tafua is tackled, 40 out from the Brisbane line. Brown. Now Caruana kicking. It's away from Carmichael Hunt. Will it have too much on it? It does. So a 20-metre restart for the Brisbane Broncos.
Not bad by Caruana there, just making sure he put the ball over the top of where Carmichael is standing. He stands beautiful position there, Carmichael Hunt. Middle of field, he can cover left side, right side. He had a magnificent game on Wednesday night, I thought. The way he just pinpoint accuracy, put him in that position to catch all those kicks downfield by Mullen.
All the way, Josh, all the way. In there, go.
Here's Hannon starting the game with Dane Carlaw on the interchange bench and taking the ground a solid tackle, about 8 metres short of the halfway line. Here's Ennis, a flat ball could easily have been called forward. Almost overrun there by Brad Thorne. Reynoldson making the tackle. Here's Berrigan out of acting half. Sivanasiva standing, looking to offload, but there was no one to pass to. Last tackle here for the Broncos. Well, Petro's almost faced us in playing that football. Now the kick coming from Lockyer. McManus is back there again. Now the pass to Gordon. He straightens, then almost gets through and just grabbed by the collar by Ben Hannon. Here's Ty. Reynoldson now. Tafua on his outside. He runs at Lockyer, who is over the top and around the legs is Tony Carroll. Here's Perry. Now Mullen linking up here with Gordon through the hands of Newton, and Gordon lucky to get back there and dive on it just ahead of David Stagg.
And that's what can happen to you when you're trying to play side-to-side football against the Brisbane side. They love to go up and then slide out on their defenders. You put a bad pass and it goes behind someone, they can easily pick it up and run the length of the field. Mullen puts it downfield.
For inside his 40, it's a pretty good kick, and Carmichael Hunt has to take it. Otherwise, would have been a 40-20, almost a 30-10. Steve Michaels returns it and is tackled 25 out from his own line. And Perry could have been penalised and is. He just took an age to get off there and then spun around instead of rolling away. You'll see here Perry, he spins around to get back to marker instead of just rolling away.
Well, that's what they're taught to do. They keep their heads in nice and close to each other. It's something that I personally do not like, and then they turn around on the body. Well, that's what the players are taught to do now from their coaches. All the matter of this wrestling, not tackling, wrestling.
Off the top turnbuckle.
And some of them look like should be in the big-time wrestling.
Berrigan turns it inside to Hannon. He's taken there by number 10, Clint Newton. And in there again, trying to slow the ball down was Jared Mullen. Now it comes from Hunt to Tony Carroll. He's tripped over the 40-metre line, and there's easy meat there for the defence of the Newcastle Knights. Tafua, now Berrigan out of acting half. He's trying to find some openings there. He's already run at least 3 times in this game in the early stages, Sean Berrigan. He's very slow to his feet to play that one. Here's Sivanasiva. Now back to Lockyer inside the Carroll. Thought the pass was forward, but it doesn't matter. The referee disagrees, and Tony Carroll scores the first try of the afternoon. A set play for the Brisbane Broncos. Carroll's in. They lead 4 points to 0, but it's a question mark over the pass.
I've got to agree with you there, Mark. I thought the ball was thrown forward. Just watch this play. They set up well. Sivanasiva going to the line, holds the ball back. Then that pass back inside without doubt was forward. It should have been picked up by the touchy. I don't believe the referee was in the position to make the call. He was correct. His mark in the 10. This will show it up more beautiful here. Look at that inside ball. Tafua going across field. Just open up that hole down the middle. And Gordon, well, once you get Tony Carroll through a hole like this, I don't think anything was going to stop. It was a great, well-rehearsed play here by the Brisbane side. and something that the coach had to say to look, you've got to push up from the inside and cover across, because that's where our holes are starting to open up around the middle. Yes, he'd be very happy there. 46 career tries. Wasn't he brutal on Wednesday night? Thought he was one of their best players.
Well, here's Lockyer now, 20 metres out, 10 metres in from his western touchline.
You need a hand, boys? Or?
Just to make it 6 points to 0 on the dream start for the Brisbane Broncos. Just 8 minutes gone. An interesting stat about the Brisbane Broncos this year is their defence has really been a problem for them. Never had a problem scoring too many tries. And Lockyer adds the extra 2. 6-0 is the score. But it's hard to imagine that the defending premier sitting on the bottom of the table also is worst in the NRL in terms of missed tackles, the metres they concede and the offloads they concede.
And I think that's because of the way that they've approached the season. They went over and played in England that World Club Challenge. Probably thought they could do it a little bit easier. It does take you a little bit of time after you win a grand final and go and play over in England, then come back into this competition to get your head right. And I think it looks like it may be on today, but there's still plenty of time in this game to go. This will go over the head.
Well, it should have gone over the dead ball line. Justin Hodges had to stick his hands way above his head to catch it, half a metre inside the dead ball line. Test play.
Well, sometimes as a player, I think Hannett knew it was going to go there, and then he decided, so, well, you better give me the ball and I'll take it forward for you.
And Hannett was almost over the dead ball line when he received the pass.
I think he was, Mark.
I don't think he was. I think he was close.
He was over the... He come from outside the field to play, then back in.
Which he's allowed to. And there's a mistake from Brent Tate.
It just shows you if Hannett had called the ball, they would have been on the 50-metre mark here, having a penalty.
Yep.
And that's what should have happened. Tate comes up with a mistake, accidentally hits the player's leg with one of his left hand. They should have had a penalty right on the 50 mark. Communication just lacking there between Hodges and Hannett.
Get square, mate. That's all I ask you. Get square. Face square. Bend it, leave it clear. Get square there. Put it in. Out! Caruana
runs at Lockyer, and Tony Carroll is there to drive him back in some solid defence. There's Tafua. Justin Hodges hits him one-on-one, ball and all, and he does well not to be pushed even closer to the touchline by Brad Thorne. Brown. Snowden taking it forward and Hannett in there to upend him. 25 metres away from the line. Chance for Newcastle to fight straight back. Here's Gordon picking up some metres. Reynoldson coming late with his run. 18 metres out from the line. Here's Brown now. Cuts out Caruana. Finds Mullen. He goes to the line. Now the hands to Ty. Head on his outside. James McManus, but took the tackle. It was a good one from Darius Boyd. Now the kick from Mullen, crossfield. Here comes Cooper Vuna. Tater's there. He's lost it. He may have been tackled in the air. McDougall's come up, but then we're going to check it.
I just want to check it. Onside, the mid-air tackle and grounding.
I don't think it's going to be a try.
I was more worried about how Tate ended up on his back so quickly. I thought he was dragged from behind. It was a great kick by Mullen. Well, I think they're all onside. That's not a problem. They're more worried about the guys on this left-hand edge. The guys in the middle, there may be one or two in an offside position, but as long as they stay outside the 10, then it's play on. Cooper Vuna, you've got to keep your eyes on. Well, I think he drags him down. Just
bring him back in the end goal.
Maybe
I think he's playing for the ball initially, but then when he realised he couldn't get it, I think he's tackled him in air.
I think that McDougall may have dropped the ball. I think he's dropped the ball.
But it went backwards. He didn't knock it on.
I think he's dropped the ball over the line, mate. I think he's playing for the ball there. I don't think he's made a tackle on him. Then McDougall comes over the top here. I think the other shot showed us, probably this one here. Just watch him try and put the ball down. I think he dropped it.
Yes, but I think he's knocked it backwards and his torso's forced it. I don't think that's an issue. Jared Mullen's receiving treatment from the trainer while all this is happening. With the video referee, I have no idea what he's going to come up with. I don't think that McDougall losing it is a problem because it went backwards and he forced it. I think you could say Vuna has taken as Brent Tate in mid-air. Steve Nash is the man that's got to come up with a decision. No try, 20-metre restart, so he's ruled that it was a knock on by someone, whether it was McDougall or whether it was Vuna, or it could have been Vuna. But see, I don't think McDougall knocked it on because it went backwards.
I reckon he did knock it on.
I don't have a problem with the no try.
No. You just see there, Mullen just getting that left leg caught in the tackle. Maybe he's saying there that Cooper Vuna had actually knocked the ball down with his left hand, but there was clearly dropped over the try line. I know what you're saying, he's facing the other way, but...
Doesn't matter which way he's facing, is where he's compelled to. Stagg will play, 10 short of halfway. Here's Thorne out of acting half and comes into the shoulder. Good solid defensive work there from the Newcastle Knights, and Riley Brown was the key defender, and Reynoldson tied it up, and now Berrigan kicking out of acting half on an early tackle and bounces nicely there for Gordon. 10 out from his own line. Lockyer leads the chase and makes the tackle. 10 out from the Newcastle line.
And that's what you got to do when you're under pressure down the other end. Play 2 quick tackles, get rid of the ball as quickly as possible, which the Brisbane side are doing. Turning this young Newcastle side around. The only option now they've got is to probably jump out of dummy half because they can't spread their winger. Is just run the ball in.
Here's Perry taking it forward. Ennis is there waiting for him.
That's
over the 30-metre line he goes. He's about 15 shy now of the halfway line. Newcastle's end of the field. They trail by 6. Caruana. Short ball. Reynoldson into space. Where's the support? McDougall's on his left. He's looking right and passes to Tate. Well, he looked right all the way and didn't look on his outside where his outside backs were.
Well, sometimes you make that error of judgment when you're running and you make a break, like Kurt Reynoldson did do. He looked on this right-hand edge. He goes, well, here they come. Then he must have heard the call coming from the left. But what a take, though, by Tate. Tremendous effort. Get himself in between the ball carrier and the attacking player coming up in the middle of the ruck.
9 short of halfway. Sivanasiva plays it. Here's Berrigan. Almost past the tackle of Reynoldson. Had to reach out and grab him, and Perry was in there as well. Lockyer on the last will kick out of acting half into the corner. It's a terrific kick from Lockyer. Well, it just rolled too far. No, McManus has to play at it and gets back into the field of play. Good chase there too from Stagg and also Boyd. And now they muscle up here, the Broncos.
I'll just say James McManus has got a lot of work to do in this first 40 and the next 40 because they have really targeted him so far with the kicking game. Every kick the Lockyer's put down, left foot kick it down the left-hand edge.
McDougall, 30 out from his own line. Good tackle, Sivanasiva. Thorne was in there as well. Petro slow to his feet. Entitled to too. Brown to also to Mullen, and the tackle was made. That was a crunching tackle too from Michael Ennis. Got a play down in back play too. Tony Carroll is now there. He's just getting to his feet. He's entitled to be tired. Brad Thorne was in a bit of strife as well. Hodges out of acting half. And of course, that's one thing at least the Newcastle Knights know. They're not going to lose those Origin players with injury during the game, but there's a bit of a question mark leading up to the Origin for a few of the Broncos. And here's Lockyer to Hunt. Ordinary ball on the ground, picked up by Michaels.
Sorry, Mark, they had a great opportunity there. Brisbane just hit the run into the right. I was Lockyer to the line.
Looks for Sivanasiva, finds him. Second phase play, back to Carmichael Hunt. If he gets it out to the right, they score here, Brisbane. Can the Knights get their defence set? They go to the left. Short pass to Hannity, barges over and scores. Jared Mullen couldn't stop him, and Ben Hannett gets his second try of the season, and the Broncos lead by 10.
Well, it's giving the Newcastle side a massive rap defensively. They come up with some tremendous plays there. This is the turnover here. What a tackle there, Michael Ennis and Jared Mullen. That was the part that just changed the game, but then Hannett, this is why he's got the starting spot. He comes onto the ball at 100 mile an hour, picks out the little man, Gordon, and Mullen just one off the ruck, down nice and low, puts his body through the line. Good work from the front rower. Tremendous work. And of course, Berrigan, he's been so busy out of the dummy half area, picking up the runners on the edges. And he deserves a starting spot too, this kid. Puts his hand up every week. Doesn't mind coming from the bench, but now, that opportunity to start the game. He'll be there for the whole season. Got to keep producing that sort of form. Lockie will now look to add the 2.
It's going to be hard now for Newcastle to come back 10-0 down, inexperienced side. What about the task facing Jared Mullen, a skipper?
I don't think it's that bad. 12 points in a game of footy is not a lot of football in today's game.
Here's Lockyer. Adds the extra 2, so it is 12 points to 0. And we've had about 17, 16 minutes of play.
I don't think Newcastle will be that unhappy with the way they have started the first 70 minutes of this first half. They've made a break against Brisbane. They've made the wrong judgment call. Kirk Riddleson with the pass back to the left, but he probably should have just taken the tackle. So there's opportunities they can make breaks. And as the game goes on, 7 players out there, they've already played a game on Wednesday night, are going to get tighter and tighter. There might be some injuries at the back end of the second half for them.
Got to stick with them, though, so they take advantage of that, don't they?
Oh, they'll stick with them. I think the young kids are doing a fine job so far. Great hands. Stagg was the man who caught that.
Here's Boyd, over 30 by a couple of metres. Thorne now. Towards the halfway he goes. 5 metres, make it 7 metres. By the time we play, it'll be almost 4.
4 steps forward.
Going to walk to Road in a minute. Last tackle here for the Brisbane Broncos. Berrigan almost running into Sivanasiva. Still gets his kick away. Is he going to be too deep? It rolls end over end over end. Over end. Well done, Cooper Vuna.
I think there has to be a message go out to the Newcastle players. Every time on that fourth play, you know that Berrigan's going to jump out to the right and put the kick in. There goes one more play, then Lockie will go out to the left end. It's going down the left-hand edge. Put more pressure on Berrigan in the dummy half roll.
There's McDougall looking and finding Gordon, who was almost through and would have been if the pass was on his chest. He just had to reach behind and it slowed his momentum. Here's Mullen. On ball to Brad Tye. Stepping inside Darius Boyd, who makes the tackle. Here's McManus. They're 35 metres away from the line. Mullen now. Slow motion stuff here at the moment from the Knights. Caruana pops the ball back. Riley Brown picks it up. Now Clint Newton standing. Pops it back to Tye. Who wants to go forward? Snowden offloads to Perry. Perry stands. Still standing. And will finally be called upon to play at the last tackle. Plenty of hands, but no one going forward. Here's Riley Brown with the kick. And easily accommodated there by Hunt. Terrific tackle, Riley Brown. One-on-one on a winger.
You just see there, he decided to get involved nice and early, Riley Brown. That's his second tackle. He put the kick in downfield, chased his own kick. But that's a better set of 6 for the Newcastle side. Brisbane side not really putting people on the ground. If they do that, I reckon Newcastle can come up with some tries.
Stagg falling as he comes to the tackle there of Mullen. Could have been awkward for him. Also there making the tackle is Riley Brown. Here's Ennis. Just shy of the halfway line. Lockyer drifts to the left to kick on the last tackle. No real pressure on him from the Newcastle side. And Lockyer had some time but didn't find open space. Cooper Vuna carrying the football like it's an orange and driven back by Tony Carroll.
He's been outstanding for him, isn't Tony Carroll? Really leading by example. I just thought then, this is a great tackle. Look, down, nice low, drives over the top. That's what I like. I like that sort of tackle.
Involved in another one there on Cooper Vuna. Here's Reynoldson. At Lockyer. Some assistance there from Sivanasiva, 9 short of the halfway line.
Well, we can do a Tony Carroll video and showing people how to tackle around the legs.
I'm sure Brett White wished he would have done that on Wednesday night. Is now the last tackle here for the Newcastle Knights, just shy of the halfway line. Comes back to Jared Mullen.
What do you have to be so negative for? Just be on the positive side, eh? Come on, just relax.
Well, I'm just stating the obvious, I think. Now it comes...
Got to show the kids that one.
To Brisbane. Steve Michaels there. He's the player tackle. It's like Adam Woolnough was on for Brisbane. Brad Thorne for Newcastle. Brad Thorne coming off for Brisbane. Ben Hannett coming off for Brisbane. And on goes Dane Carlaw. And Corey Parker taking it forward is also on. a good run, his first hit up of the game. Here's Carlo, straight at Jared Mullen and McDougall. They make the contact, but he gets over the halfway line by about a metre. Berrigan at acting half to Hodges, running across field, backwards, now still across. Links up there with Michaels, who decides to straighten and gets it to the 40-metre line before being met by the defence. Last tackle here for Brisbane. They go down a very short side. They've got the numbers here. Lockyer to Boyd, back to Lockyer. They've still got numbers. He turns the ball there to Stagg. Stagg gets away from Gordon. Gordon to Hunt. Hunt then throws it out the back. Sivanasiva. Petro gets over and scores a terrific Brisbane Broncos side. They had the numbers. They took their time, but in the end they got the try. 16-0 with a kick to come. Is that the try that breaks the spirit of the Newcastle Knights?
The scrambling defence of Newcastle Knights, I thought they had him, but good vision here by Lockyer once again to go down the short side. I thought they had enough numbers here, the Newcastle side. Then Lockyer pounces up, gets it back to Michaels. How he got that ball out to Carmichael, and then how did he get it out? And why is the big fella Sivanasiva there to collect the last pass? That's just inspirational. Just kept on following the ball. Sivanasiva, you look at your right-hand side, he's just coming into the screen now. A great pass by Carmichael Hunt, the big fella, that close to the line. Waldos couldn't stop him. I don't think anyone could have stopped him.
Joel Moon and Ben Hannett looking on there. Petro Sivanasiva seems to be getting better with age. Petro, 16 points to nil, 22 and a half gone. And they had the numbers there down that short side, Brisbane, and just keeping the ball alive. And I thought Carmichael Hunt was going to score there at one stage. There's Corey Parker, literally just on the field, one run. Now with a chance to add the extra 2 points. In from touch, strikes it pretty well and just inside the uprights to add a little bit of salt into the Newcastle Knight wounds. 18 points to nil. This will test the character of this young Newcastle side as Daniel Tolar comes on for the Knights.
And it's just good vision here by Lockyer. Once he's got himself involved, that's the time he touched the ball. Then here, Carmichael Hunt knew he had to get rid of the ball somehow. Just throw it out the back. Hopefully it'll fall into one of our guys' hands and turn it to this man on screen now. Petro Sivanasiva, number 2 for season 2007.
What about the effort from Petro to get there to take the pass after an Origin game?
Mate, that's the thing we were talking about with the first vision we talked about. We said for Sivanasiva to run 30-odd or 40-odd metres to get then the final pass to score the try. That, to me, just shows the character of what the side is going to turn up and how they're going to play football today.
There's Sivanasiva, good contact there over the top by Clint Newton. Daniel Tolar in there making the tackle again. That was Petro's second hit up in this set. Hodges plays it back to Lockyer, who's going to kick from well inside his 40, looking for a 40-20. It's going to find touch as well. Outstanding play from Darren Lockyer. He saw that the winger wasn't back. The fullback was over the other side. It wasn't a 40-20, it was almost a 30-10.
What a player. Summed it up nice and early. McManus, you can see him on the right-hand side of the screen there. Gordon was in the middle of your screen. He just on the third tackle, that was, let's get out of here, boys. Let's turn them around one more time. That's just smart play. That's just good football brains to pick out that McManus wouldn't be back early, neither would Gordon.
Just make sure you square, Nick Mason square, boys. Wait there, I'll tell you when to put it in. Put it in.
So Brisbane with a golden opportunity now through Lockyer. Stepping, he deserves the try after getting them into this position. They're short to the left, Newcastle. They go that way through Hodges, who throws the dummy and is tackled only a metre or two out from the line. Berrigan at acting half. They're still in trouble here, the Knights, defensively. It comes to Lockyer. Tony Carroll with the juggle, almost lost it. He's 5 metres out from the line. 20 in from this western touchline. Slow to his feet. Berrigan to Hodges. He's got Ennis with him. Ennis is taken there by Mullen. 5 metres away from the line. Brisbane. Berrigan running behind Sivanasiva. Unloads to Carlaw. Carlaw trying to get himself over the goal line for a try. His second of the season he's looking for. Last tackle. What was Berrigan waiting for? Lockyer with the kick. Here comes Ennis. Too deep, is it? And now he's knocked it dead, Gordon. He had to. He could hear footsteps. And so the Brisbane Broncos have got the Knights under the pump.
There's been some great play, hasn't he, in this last set of 6 by the Brisbane side, really getting back into this grip, the rhythm that they can play. The kid, he couldn't do anything other than, we didn't actually play it, but it did hit him. The referee said that he took it over the end goal. As Clint Newton goes down.
Just it's early for a cramp, isn't it?
I think he's looking just for a bit of a break for his young side.
You hope. But as you said, Gary, it is a very hot day. You think?
I'm glad you agree with me for a change.
I don't. I'm just saying you think.
This way there, Jared.
Any Kiwi would think it's a hot day today. 24. You're kidding.
Here's Mullen with the restart. Lockyer under it. Here comes Carlaw. So another set here for the Brisbane Broncos. They already lead by 18 as we approach the half-hour mark of this game, and Sivanasiva just continues to keep on rolling on. Reynoldson there with the tackle. Berrigan. Now Ennis. Corey Parker tackled, just shy of the 10-metre line. Here's Tate out of acting half, looking to link with someone. Reynoldson there to make the tackle, and lucky he got some assistance, otherwise he could have put Tate into a dangerous position. Now here's Lockyer. Short ball there to Stagg, as the Knights thought it may have been the second man play, but they read it pretty well. Berrigan quickly out of acting half, terrific tackle. He's kept it alive, has he? The referee says that's play on. Now it's been knocked down by Clint Newton. They get another set. Surely the Knights can't hold on here. Stagg back to Carmichael Hunt. Dane Carlaw, good tackle there. 10 metres out from the line. Kirk Reynoldson it was. Here's Carmichael Hunt, short ball, Tony Carroll. Some more good defence from Newcastle. Caruana involved. Tola there as well. Sivanasiva playing first receiver. Lockyer, ball on the inside to Ennis. Almost collided with Brent Tate. Gives it there to Parker. Gets through the tackle of Caruana, but not Tola. And also there, the number 15, Corey Patterson is on. Now it comes to Lockyer. Lockyer there, Carmichael Hunt. They've got a chance. The Michaels in the corner. Ball was forward. Forward pass. The referee, Ben Cummins, has picked it up. Steve Michaels doesn't like it. But somehow the Newcastle Knights survive, and that was terrific work from Newcastle to keep the Brisbane side at bay.
I'll tell you what, you've got to take a hat off to this young Newcastle side. They were on the back foot there. Of course, that ball has gone forward. I thought the toucher would have picked it up, but the referee, Ben Cummins, only 20th first grade game, has picked it up. But the Newcastle side already, what about this for a figure? 138 tackles to Brisbane 78. So they've had no ball, and they'll be working very, very hard.
10 out from the line, Newcastle. And this is a very rare opportunity for Newcastle to actually have the football in their hands. As you see, it's almost 70-30. Kirk Reynoldson coming off.
The hard part is it's usually down in their own 20-metre mark where they've got a lot of ball. They play 3 or 4 tackles out, then they've got to try and kick it down the other end.
Absolutely.
And then you've got to put your hand up to say, you've made all these tackles, now I need you to run the ball up.
Mullen.
Good ball, Mullen.
Ball right on the chest there of Ty. Turns it inside to McManus, who came a little bit late and was easy meat for the defence. Last tackle here for the Newcastle Knights. Caruana comes back to Mullen. Kicking, waiting for it as Brent Tate right on his 10-metre line, slipping and coming up with possession now is Darius Boyd across field.
Just wait there.
What are we going to look at? Blood bin?
You're bleeding from the left eye, just leave it.
Jared Mullen didn't even know he was bleeding. And now he's got to get that fixed. That's a 20-odd metre pass right on the chest.
And I think that's what young Jared Mullen has to do more of. He needs to have a look on the edges now that the game started, nearly 30 minutes old.
Petro Sivanasiva going straight up the tunnel for the Brisbane Broncos. Maybe he's going to have a bit of a kip. He deserves one. Got a terrific reception from the crowd as he came off, as Brad Thorne takes it forward. The Just a couple of metres short of the halfway line. Last tackle here for the Brisbane Broncos, just shy of halfway. They'll kick on that mark through Ennis. He'll find touch again. 10 metres out, the scrum will pack. And look, the Newcastle Knights, they're undermanned, but this is the best performance Brisbane's put in this season.
Well, it had to be turned around for Brisbane, didn't it? It just happens to be that they were playing Newcastle. It does coincide with having that. I go back to State of Origin. It's just sometimes it just brings something out of a player, knowing that you build yourself up for a big game, and then that leads into your next game, and you just get a bit of a kick along in your season. That's what seems to be happening here with Brisbane. But I've got to take my hat off to Newcastle. Only down by 18 points, still 3 tries in a game of footy is not a lot, Mark. But Mullen needs to inject himself. He needs to take control of the game. Get players running off from short passes, try and attack Lockyer as much as possible.
He just lost some football down the other end to try and do something, and that could have been easily a penalty. Greg Eastwood could have been penalised as Corey Patterson tried to get at his feet to play the football. Brisbane, we talk about this post-Origin with the number of players they have. Since 1998, they've only lost 1 game after Origin 1, which is an outstanding record. Here's Mullen, out to Caruana, long ball to tie again into the sun, over his shoulder and over the touchline.
There's times when to throw those long passes, and there's times to use numbers in your line. At that stage there, you'll just watch this how Brisbane goes up and they hold their line, they start to slide across. There's a 3-on-2 situation. They need to go through the hands there, not go to long pass like Mullen just done before. Made it very tough to catch.
Lockyer now comes to the 19, Brent Tate. Hodges goes into acting half. Decides to have a run and invariably beats the first man. This time he's beaten the second. He can't get away from the third though. Cooper Vuna with the tackle. Here's Corey Parker. Runs at Tola, able to offload back to Berrigan. Berrigan showing the dummy to Eastwood and is tackled. As Wayne Bennett looks on, he'll be feeling quite comfortable at the moment. Ennis to Lockyer. Stagg not expecting that one and picked up here by Ty, and they had a chance there, Newcastle.
He should have flicked it up to Mullen. He was going on the outside. McManus was on his right-hand edge. He saw to take the tackle.
Here's Clint Newton.
That's a great run.
They've finally got some possession down the other end of the field. Woolno. Good offload to Mullen into space. Where's his support? He doesn't need any. He stepped past Carmichael Hunt and Justin Hodges like they weren't there. Well, you asked him to step up, Gary Freeman. Is that enough for you? 18-4 with a kick to come.
All was indicating he had the top taking the ball to the line. That's what he did then. The ball around the back by Woolno was an absolute champion ball. This is the ball here now that has been dropped by Stagg, then picked up. I was saying I thought he could have given the ball then to Mullen. But watch Woolno here go to the line. Know that he's got Mullen on his left, gets on the outside of Eastwood, gets the ball around the back of Lockyer. Now watch the step here, bang, off the left, straight through Carmichael Hunt. Well, I wasn't saying step up the line, but I just know the kid's got to inject himself into the game, which he has done, Mark. It's good that he's hearing me from up here.
Listening to the Wizard, and there are a couple of tired tackles there from Hodges and Carmichael Hunt.
Like I said, the game, 18 points in the game of football now is not a lot of football to come back from.
Broncos! Broncos!
Corey Patterson, 10 metres out right in front, trying to kick his first goal of the season. Of course, with no Kurt Gidley, they need to find another goal kicker. And they found one there with Patterson, who adds the extra 2, so 18 points to 6. They'll be feeling a little bit better about themselves than Newcastle Knights, and Jared Mullen, is he the man that's going to lead the revival?
Well, the big thing about this try was the ability of Warno to get the ball over the right-hand side offload. But the other thing was, when you said they looked tired, they didn't go up in numbers, and he was able to get his hands free. That was the thing that we didn't see in the probably first 15, 20 minutes of the game. But also remembering, this tackle count of Newcastle keeps growing. 151 against 103, so they've done enormously to get back within 12.
10 metres away from their own line. The Newcastle Knights. Here's Walno bouncing away from the tackle there of Carlo, who held on and finally got him to ground with the assistance of Parker and Thorne. Caruana. Here's Patterson up towards the 30. Important set here for the Knights, as we have 5 minutes to go until half time, and Gordon running off the pass there of McDougall. They need to get their kick to get down the other end. Mullen. Now it comes to Clint Newton, stepping, trying to get past the tackle there of Berrigan, and couldn't do so. Now Mullen decides a little kick over the top, but he can't get through to Chase because he was under pressure and almost knocking it on Michaels, and Hunt almost got in each other's way.
See, I like that. The kid now is starting to look up and see what's in front of him and go, well, I know I'm going to get plenty of pressure on me. Let me run the ball, put a little chip over the top. Yes, he couldn't get through, but he's just varying his game up. And if you do that against Brisbane, that gives him a little bit more opportunity in the second half. That those little chips are going to come up for him.
Hodges goes out of that thing half, past Caruana, past Gordon, turns it into Tate, and they will score just before half-time. And it was all Justin Hodges. They wouldn't put a hand on him, let alone tackle him, and the Brisbane Broncos hit back at the worst possible time for Newcastle. 22-6 with a kick to come, but Justin Hodges was just too good.
Brilliant bit of play. He is so devastating out of that dummy half area. Once again, McDougall stood and waited and watched. Tate backed up down the middle. He was the man who actually initially played the ball and then got himself in a position to score the try. There he is playing the ball. Hodges jumps out of dummy half, gets in between Caruana, gets around Gordon, and then Tate leaves a position for playing the ball to back up beautifully down the middle to score another magnificent Brisbane try in this opening 40.
Well, there was nothing on Brent Tate. You know, Justin Hodges, when he goes into dummy half, he's going to run out.
He's going to run. But McDougall was lazy. Very, very lazy. Didn't get across and push into the hole with that A marker.
Corey Parker, and what a time to score it just before half-time. If they go in at 18-6, the Knights with, 60-40 possession against them will be feeling, reasonable. But 24-6, just before half-time, they just kill you. Here's Corey Parker from right in front. Should have little trouble and adds the extras. His second goal of the afternoon. 24-6, Brisbane over Newcastle with 2 to go until the break.
Players getting a well-earned rest on the bench there. Hannett, Seaver to Seaver. Of course, Tony Carroll's played very, very well. Some of the big workers in their forward pack. Expect to see them probably in the later part of the second half. There's a try that Newcastle should never have given up.
Thorne. There's a high shallow kick there from Patterson. Means the chasers are down there and put him inside his 20. Penalty too. And that's going to give them a piggyback down the other end of the field. They've got to be careful in Newcastle. They don't concede another try before half-time.
These sort of penalties can go either way, can't they? Well, that Thornton might have had a bit of a bad play of the ball from where we have vision from. It wasn't that way. Berrigan starts him off again. Thorne goes to the line.
Just shy of the halfway line. 70 seconds remain until the break. Carlos slipped and fell into the body there of the Newcastle defenders, and that would have hurt. Now Ennis looking for runners on the inside. There was no one there. Lockyer barking instructions. Here's the tackles on the outside. Berrigan now gives it to Lockyer. Carlo was on the inside. Parker the outside. Caruana there with the tackle. So tackle number 4. Just shy of the 30. Slow play the ball. Carlo. Good contact over the top from Patterson. Last tackle here for the Brisbane Broncos. Lockyer's well back. He's going to go for a drop goal from 30 out, right in front. He adds the extra point just to make it even tougher for Newcastle. 25 points to 6 just before half-time. And it's now 4 scores for the Knights lead.
How cool was Darren Lockyer? That was just one great bit of play. With only 20-odd seconds remaining before half-time. Boys, get me to this position of the field. he set himself nice and early, got the good pass. He knew that the Newcastle side would be tired. They wouldn't chase through right on the straight half time. Great bit of play, Darren Lockyer.
There is the half-time siren in the background. Brisbane lead the Newcastle Knights by 25 points to 6 on NRL Sunday. Can the Newcastle Knights fight back, or will the Brisbane Broncos claw their way off the bottom of the Telstra Premiership? We'll find out after the break. Back with more. Welcome back to Suncorp Stadium, half-time. The Brisbane Broncos lead the Newcastle Knights 25-6. The highlight of the first half for Newcastle was that try there to Jared Mullen, but just before the break, a real killer with a try to Brent Tate and a field goal just after by Darren Lockyer, giving us the 25 points to 6 half-time score. Clint Newton playing his 100th first-grade game today. 21 tackles, 6 sit-ups and an offload in his performance in the first 40 minutes. And they need to score first in this second half, Gary Freeman, the Newcastle Knights, to get back into the game.
They do. They've got to get down the other end of the field first, though. That's going to be their biggest goal. I think that Brian Smith would have said, look, we are only 4 tries out of the game, but in the end we can score that amount of points, but we've got to have the football to do it. I think they can do it. Young kid, 7, the captain, they've got to lead the way. Caruana step up to the plate.
There's Petro, Ben Hannett, 2 front rowers, try scorers today. What a terrific player he has been over the years. And the second half is underway at Suncorp Stadium. The Newcastle Knights defending the northern or Caxton Street end. The Broncos, the southern or Milton Road end of this ground. It's a beautiful afternoon in Brisbane. Had some rain last night and some light showers out in the western suburbs this morning, but it's just a wonderful day for football as Clint Newton takes it forward towards the 40-metre line. Michael Young on the field for Brisbane in jumper number 14. Here comes to Caruana. Going forward at the moment, Newcastle are just going from side to side. So Mullen kicks from inside his 40, and Carmichael Hunt had read it well and has it covered inside his 20. And a good chase there from the Knights, and Patterson with the tackle.
In the play before, Caruana, instead of taking the line, need to let the ball go. I know what Bryce was trying to do. He's trying to get on that edge of the Brisbane side who play that up and into side defence. They go up sometimes, then they'll decide to actually slide. You've got to play nice and straight at them.
Thorne will play. Just 9 short of the halfway line. Here's Carmichael Hunt straight down the middle. He's got Hodges. They'll race away and score Brisbane. Slack marker defence, slack defence around the ruck from Newcastle. But Justin Hodges on the back of some work from Carmichael Hunt and Sean Berrigan. 3 key players have opened the Knights up. 29-6 with a kick to come. We've only had 90 seconds of the second half.
And that's the biggest issue for Newcastle. They have been very, very poor around that marker area, and they really have exposed out the Brisbane side. Carmichael Hunt receiving a tremendous ball and then picking up Hodges, who had the easiest run to the try line. Just watch this out of dummy half. Berrigan's the man. They just catch them napping. Michael Young went out to the left, should have stayed in the middle block hole. He didn't do that. They'll let Carmichael Hunt go down the middle, then pick up this man here, Hodges, who scores the try. Like you said, only 2 minutes gone in the second half. His first today, but I think he could get a couple more.
It was just too easy there for Brisbane, as Corey Parker will try and convert the try from right in front. And so, I mean, what, 3-4 minutes before half-time, it's 18-6. Newcastle was the last team to score, and they would have gone into the half-time break quite buoyant. But 2 tries in the space of 4 minutes either side of half-time, and a field goal as Corey Parker adds the extras, means that Brisbane lead by 31 points to 6.
That's an area I believe that Brian Smith would have said to his team, we've got to tighten up around our first marker and our second marker. If one pushes to the left, the other one pushes up to the middle. Don't split or don't go the same way, because that'll open up holes around that area that they have exposed already in the first half. Bryce will be disappointed with that set of 6.
So here come the Broncos again. Carmichael Hunt will find Carlaw, who runs at Tafua. 10 out from his own line. Terrific tackle there from the Knights, number 12. And Thorne gets a forward call, the referee, from the touch judge, and Thorne almost dropped that ball. And here's an opportunity for the Knights to head back. Brad Thorne can't believe it.
This is it here. Well, that is for good decision by the touching and the referee. This is where Caruana's got to take the line on. Look at McDougall, dummy inside, then go to the outside.
Here's Jared Mullen down the short side and taking the ground there, Brad Tye, by Darius Boyd. They're inside the 10. They haven't been down here with the football very often at all in the game. That's just the third tackle inside the 20 for the Newcastle Knights. Woolno with another offload. Mullen with the juggle. Caruana. Here's Patterson running at Lockyer, who jumps high and brings him to ground somehow. I thought Patterson was going to fall over the goal line. McDougall in at acting half. It comes back to Caruana. Now to Mullen. Long ball. Newton under pressure has knocked it forward. Picked up there by Michaels. He may go the length of the field. Has he got the pace? No. Tye is there and McManus regroups.
Well, they have opportunities, don't they, Newcastle? They just blow them on that last pass, just a little bit too high. And the long ball just wasn't on. You've got to play numbers against this Brisbane side. Otherwise, they'll make it. Oh, great tackle, Tola. What a beauty.
Here's Thorne out of acting half. Woolno over the top with that tackle, and they bring him to ground just shy of the 40-metre line. Tafua was there as well. Here's Lockyer to the line, and Eastwood tries to burst through. He almost did, and Lockyer was there to get the ball, but he just couldn't get that right arm free. Ominous signs here for Newcastle. Lockyer, and ominous signs for other teams in the competition. Lockyer starting to take the line on. Now Berrigan just throws it away. Hands it to Patterson. Darren Lockyer, by his standards in recent games, has been pretty quiet, but today starting to step up to the plate again.
Yeah, but if you look at his forwards, they are starting to dominate the opposition at the same time, which they haven't probably done in their opening couple of rounds for the Brisbane side. Once they start to dominate, that's when Lockyer, he steps in. He doesn't have to do so much tackling. He's more on the attacking side, and with a great kicking game to go with it.
Good. Must be something on that 40-metre line. He's about the third bloke to trip over it. It's 9 short of halfway.
He didn't play the ball then.
Mullen to Tye, inside to McManus. McManus to Clint Newton. Over the top to Mullen. Mullen now gets a kick away on tackle number 5 finally. Not the best end of the set there, but a solid tackle on tape, but they don't wrap him up, and Tolar tidies up.
How hard is he to tackle Tate? Really come to the fore now, hasn't he? Getting there, running the ball 100 mile an hour. Here's another penalty.
Tackle's complete, Adam. Tackle's complete. No, tackle's complete, and you've taken it
Can't
out.
steal the ball. The penalty's certainly going the way. 3-1 against Newcastle.
Right here, Adam, mate, right here.
I think the play of the ball has already been called. He did steal the ball one-on-one, but the play of the ball was already called.
Here's Thorne. About 23 metres out, offload. Comes back to Parker. Parker straightening and put on his back by Tafua. Right in centre field. Lockyer's to the right. They come to the left through Berrigan. He's having a field day at the moment, Sean Berrigan. Here's Ennis. Carmichael Hunt straight through. Was there an obstruction? We may check this. The referee's going to have a look. He's not going to check it. He's going to say try. Second man play. Carmichael Hunt gets on the score sheet. It's now 35-6, and it's becoming embarrassing for Newcastle.
Well, they just can't stop them either. It's around the ruck area or one of the ruck here. Just watch this. Stagg. I think that's fine. Mullen just made the wrong call. He should have gone in to make the tackle. Hunt come around. Stagg went to the right-hand side. This will show it up beautifully. Watch here. Here comes Stagg. There he goes. Carmichael comes in between them both. He looked at the referee, though. Had a little bit of a bow peep to him. But to me, I don't have a problem with this. There's 1, 2, 3 players in the outside. They just made the wrong defensive decision.
35-6. 4 tries for the season for Carmichael Hunt. Corey Parker with one of his more difficult attempts at goal this afternoon. They just don't have an answer around the ruck area for Sean Berrigan at the moment. And Newcastle Knights, Berrigan out of acting half is just carving them up. 15 metres out. About 10 metres to the left of the uprights for Corey Parker to make it 4 from 4. He does. He adds the extra 2. 37 points to 6. Brisbane over the Newcastle Knights. We still have half an hour play remaining.
Well, they are doing it tough. They haven't had a lot of ball, Newcastle. But again, it's just some defensive lapses. The ruck area has really been highlighted by Brisbane. But then going one pass wide and a single wraparound. And easy to read, but if your mind's not on the job, it makes it very tough. You just watch their markers here and see how they move. See, they're slow to get up and then they stand. There is so much yardage to be made down the middle.
Injured player, 2 injured. Knights in back play. They're in trouble here. Newcastle, Woolno and Tafua are gone. Now it comes to Berrigan. Tafua's got a problem with his right shoulder getting back in the defensive line, and Woolno's got a problem as well as Lockyer trying to make the most of it. But the defence on this occasion from Michael Young holds, and there's that right arm just hanging limply for Tafua. Now it comes to Ennis. Ennis short ball to Hodges. Hodges gets away from one, tries to flick it, does now to Tate. But Tate can't find anywhere to go. He may be forced over the touchline. He is. Cooper Vuna was in there with Adam McDougall.
And you wouldn't think Newcastle, being down 37 points to 6, would show up and do that sort of defence. You know, they're not giving up. They're trying as best as they can here this afternoon. They just got to make some better decisions.
And Tafua injured the shoulder there. He's just had the arm placed in a sling, or he's trying to, I think it's his wrist. I thought it was his shoulder. Maybe the forearm, the wrist area. They try to put it. Remember, Gary, in your days when you wore the big jumpers, you were able to tuck your arm into your jumper when it was injured. Well, the skin tight, they can't do it anymore.
He can't tuck it.
He tried to do it then, Tafua, but couldn't do it. It's too tight.
There's some players that they can't do that, tuck anything into it.
10 short of halfway. Here's Young out of acting half. On the halfway line.
They don't do enough sit-ups.
Newton. Now it comes to Caruana. Stag there to make the tackle. One of 3 Broncos in there. Also Parker and Berrigan. He's Young out of acting half. Now it comes from Reynoldson to Mullen. Hasn't he had a tough week? The highs and lows, been named in the Origin, beaten, named as captain today. And on the end of a bit of a thumping here at the moment.
Yeah, it is tough for the young kid, but I'll tell you what, he's going to learn a lot out of being in Origin. I think they will keep him. There's no need to... They have to play this ball. Oh,
just hit the line. Just hit the line.
Well, when your luck's not going your way, can't bother home, looks back, there's, oh, this will roll over, and then just touches the line.
One roll too far. Carlo. Turned on his back by the Newcastle defence. 28 minutes remaining. Can the Knights fight back and show something? Get some more points on the board. Maybe even throw a fright into this Brisbane side, but the way that Brisbane Broncos are handling everything that Newcastle's throwing them their way at the moment. 28 minutes could be a long time for the Newcastle players. Thorne. Newton with the tackle, offloading, just bounced away from Darius Boyd. He wants to get on the score sheet. Here's Lockyer kicking. It's hit a Newcastle player, putting everyone on side, and Gordon and Vuna get confused, and he does well to get away from Hodges, but can't get away from Tate.
Great chasing, Tim, isn't it? Vuna down that short side, went around about 10 metres. Chasing Tim and Tate and Hodges have been good today.
Don't need to remind Newcastle supporters of the time these two teams played last year in the final series. A week after Newcastle and Manly bashed each other. Brisbane, too good for Brisbane, 50 points to 6. which is the biggest score between the two sides. And Manus taking a good tackle. Vaughan coming over the top. Around the legs was Boyd, who was injured in that tackle. Caruana with the kick, and not a good one. Michaels is under it. Darius Boyd's done some damage, and Michaels will run past him, but Boyd won't be able to get up and support. He just can't get up, Darius Boyd. Here's Parker. Tolo with the tackle. Berrigan turns it inside to Eastwood. Surely he's got to stop play here. Ben Cummins, the trainers, can't get Boyd off the field. Now Lockyer to Tate McDougall. That could have been dangerous for Brent Tate. He was in air when he caught the ball. Now Hodges running across field. Stagg hitting a solid tackle. Ball out the back. Hodges accelerating into space. Hunt's on his inside. He doesn't need him. He's going to go all the way and score. Well, Stephen Gordon held off thinking the defence was going to get there. Did he drop it though?
Check for grounding.
Some suggestion he may have dropped the football. Justin Hodges doesn't look overly happy. He may be tired though.
He looked like he was putting the big ones in to get to the try line, but he got himself involved in that play twice from the play of the ball. Got the ball out nice and wide. He got it down. He's saying to everyone, hey, I got it down. Don't worry about that. Here he is from dummy half. 1. Throws the ball out the back here. Great tackle there on Stagg. He picks it up for 2. Then steps off his left and straight through. And then I thought he was going to give the pass back inside. They went, no, I reckon I can get there myself. And they just hung off him. I don't think there's anything problem with the put down. I think he's just tired. The way he does carry the... Yeah, that's fine. We won't even have to have a look at that again. Or maybe one more time. I don't know what for.
Because it was a good angle. Why not?
Good work, Chet.
Justin Hodges with a double. Here's the decision from Steve Nash. Darius Boyd still on the field somehow. And there's the try. And so they're into the 40s now, the Brisbane Broncos. 41 points to 6.
That's good, Chet. I thought the same
This
thing,
game
mate.
has blown right open in the last 20 minutes. And Hodges started it and finished it.
Yeah, I think it's just the experience, our talent on the Newcastle side, but also the amount of possession going the way of Brisbane. And they've just got so many classy players that can create opportunities just out of nothing, like Hodges did then. The little dummy can step off the left, straighten up, and then had enough pace to get to the try line. The possession. In any game of football, 63% of the ball the Brisbane side have had, they are going to beat anybody.
Corey Parker, his toughest kick of the afternoon. He's already kicked 4. 41 points to 6. Just trying to see if Darius Boyd has finally come from the field. He's still out there somehow for Brisbane. Here's Parker. 25 out. 7 in from touch. Keeps it out to the right, so it stays 41 points to 6. The first missed goal of the afternoon. Corey Parker leaves the field, and there's Darius Boyd. Well, he couldn't stand up, and they tried to get him off the field, but he couldn't walk, and now he's going to play.
I don't know what happened there. He looked like he was gone for all money. Signaled to the trainers. The trainers got him up, looked at his knee, looked at his thigh, and said, look, mate, give it a bit of a shake around, and away you go.
Sean Berrigan off, Joel Moon on for his first bit of play this afternoon. Be interesting to see how many of the Brisbane Broncos State of Origin players finish on the bench today. Who'd be next off? Can I suggest Darren Lockyer might be the one that gets a spell?
Well, I'll be taking probably Lockyer off and maybe Carmichael Hunt. Let them have a little bit of a rest. I've got the game won. Why chance them?
Here's Hannon. I wonder whether he will bring him off. Surely. He wouldn't want to risk him. Put Carmichael Hunt in there to halfback. Here's Lockyer wrapping around the blind side. Slow play the ball. It comes to Thorne now. Last here for Brisbane. Slowish play the ball, and Thorne gets to his feet looking at the referee. Hunt from inside his 40. It's over towards the 20, but it breaks away from the touchline, and Stephen Gordon has it covered. Puts the head down and goes forward up towards the 20-metre line.
And that's one thing that I've been very impressed with here this afternoon is Brisbane's kicking game and their chasing team, getting down there in plenty of numbers, really not giving Newcastle anything to go at other than take the ball forward and take the tackle. Now I'm just mixing their kicking game up with Berrigan leaving the field.
Woolner. Ball out the back, picked up by Reynoldson. Referee says it wasn't a knock on. He almost, well, he did have the arm free, but he had no one to pass to. 10 short of halfway. Here's Riley Brown, Mullen to McDougall into a bit of space. Can he beat the tackle of Lockyer? He can, but he slowed him down for Joel Moon to come in and make the tackle. Last here for Newcastle. Jared Mullen off the side of the boot to the wing of Justin Hodges, but there's no chasers. And Hodges will succumb to the tackle.
Justin Hodges just a little bit tired, but that kick really had no purpose in it whatsoever. Jared Mullen indicated to the left-hand side that he was going to put the ball back over there, the banana kick. No one really decided to run through and put pressure on Hodges, who made the catch. Now the Brisbane side will go wide.
Got the arm free, Hunt. Now it comes to Lockyer. Lockyer to Michaels. He's got Gordon to beat. Lockyer on the inside. Boyd's on his inside. Great tackle, Stephen Gordon. And somehow he stayed in the field of play. Quick play the ball. They must score Brisbane. Lockyer goes himself. Michaels tackle as he gets it. Gets up and goes again. And is tackled again. The referee's called held. It comes now a long ball from Ennis to Hunt. Hunt to Thorne, he wasn't expecting it. Pops it over the top to Eastwood. McDougall with the tackle. Last tackle. They're not running out of troops here, Newcastle. Surely Brisbane, they've gone the wrong way. It comes to Joel Moon on the last tackle. He doesn't know it's the last. That's a changeover. And what's been a pretty good afternoon for Brisbane, that was pretty ordinary.
Oh, I think they're just all too tired to get to the position. You look at the players down for Newcastle, they are all over the place. They are out on their feet, the amount of tackles they've had to make. I'll tell you what, after this break was made, Lockyer, to me, looked certain to score. I don't know how he kept his feet in and play. Did a magnificent job there, Michaels.
Adam McDougall, one of those players struggling at the moment for Newcastle. This is Michael Young taking the ball forward towards the 30-metre line.
I like the look of him. I think he's going to be a player of the future for the Newcastle side. He gets in, takes the ball forward nice and tight. There's a lot of hard work and defence at the same time.
Right on the halfway line they play it. Comes from Carolina back to Mullen, who's going to kick over the head of Hodges. And back into the corner. They struggle to chase here, the Newcastle side. And I don't think Hodges wants to return it either. But he's going to have to. He might do something. He runs at Tolar and makes the tackle.
I've got to say this, Mark. When you're 41 points behind to 6, putting the kicks in like that, all you're doing, I know the boys are going to make more tackles, but you're a bit off chancing your arm. If you're that far behind, it doesn't matter if they score another 2 or 3 tries. You're a bit off getting Mullins going to the line, Caruana doing a little chip over the top, just to try and break it up. Otherwise, you're just allowing Brisbane to get out of their own danger zone very easily.
Carroll plays it. Here's Hannett to Lockyer. Almost intercepted by McDougall. Nice bounce for Tate. Puts on the afterburners. Away from Vuna. He's going to run around Gordon. He's going to have much true pace. That is a sensational try to Brent Tate. And the Brisbane Broncos are turning it on at Suncorp Stadium. The Knights are out on their feet, but the Broncos are playing some terrific football.
Well, Brent Tate, the pass here by Lockyer. Watch this. McDougall goes for the intercept, misses. Then he had to have a go, McDougall. Had to try a little bit harder than just jogging along. And the big left-hand fend. What a fend that was. Then the in and away on the fullback. Gordon, it was all class, wasn't it? They set it up beautifully here, the Brisbane side. I guess the ball did bounce before getting the Tate. The big don't argue there. Cooper Vuna, but then this run here, that was just fantastic. How much pace has he got? Well, this is probably some of the best football that the Brisbane side have played, I reckon, this year. This is probably their best game.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Brent Tate at double, Justin Hodges at double, and it's been their State of Origin players that have stood up today. And they had every reason to be feeling tired. And Carmichael Hunt scored, and Petro Sivanasiva, Tony Carroll have scored tries. Darren Lockyer will try and convert this to take the Broncos closer to 50. He adds the extras, Darren Lockyer. 3 goals and a field goal for the Australian captain. That's 47 points to 6. And here it is again, Brent Tate, the acceleration there, Vuna no chance, and you knew that he was going to beat Gordon here. He tried hard, the Knights fullback, but Brent Tate, just too much pace.
Well, you've got to go back to the biggest head-to-head wins, and Brisbane hold that at Aussie Stadium. It was round 28, 2006, 50-6. 50-6. Then Newcastle in 2001, 44-0. Newcastle's won.
Back in, hold.
Look, they might eclipse that 50-6 today.
Here's Thorne. Berrigan getting ready to come back on. They've only made 7 changes, Brisbane, so this will be the 8th. And who do you reckon it will be for? There's now Darius Boyd has got the ball, the pass from Moon. He's tackled by Mullen, 9 short of halfway. I bring Darren Lockyer off right here, right now. Carroll.
Move now, right to me, hold.
Thorne, and it is going to be Darren Lockyer coming from the field. You'll be able to tell by the roar. Here's the kick. And falling over Gordon. Gets to his feet again. And a change, number 8 being made by Brisbane. And Darren Lockyer, a well-earned rest. And he's safe for next week. Well, that's what it's about, isn't it?
Absolutely. Oh, he's done enough today. He doesn't have to prove anything anymore out there. I think the safest thing was to get him off the field. Let some of these younger guys play themselves and see what they come up with, the Joel Moons and that.
And play without Lockyer there.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Yeah.
Jared Mullen coming off for Newcastle. As McDougall is tackled. And there he is. He'd be exhausted, the young bloke. He's only played 32 first-grade games, and he's captain. He played for his state on Wednesday night. Emotionally, it must be so draining, Gary. The physical side is hard, but the emotional roller coaster that he's been through must be very hard for a young man to take.
I think the biggest issue is the mental aspect of the game, building yourself up. There is a lot of pressure on him saying, should he be the halfback, shouldn't he be the halfback? Is he too young? Is he, you know, and then you had his coach saying, well, there's other halfbacks in the Newcastle area that may be better than him. And you just think to yourself, well, isn't it adding more pressure to the kid? Look, I thought on Wednesday night he did extremely well for the amount of pressure that he was going to be under. Here's Carmichael Hunt, off again, up, great goal.
Moon, Tony Carroll's there, he doesn't get it, Greg Eastwood gets it, and there's the 50 for the Brisbane Broncos. The Kiwi international gets his name on the score sheet, and they are carving the Knights up at Suncorp. The Broncos, are they back?
Well, I don't think they've ever gone away. It's just going to take them a little bit of time to hit top gear. And Newcastle have found it once again, just around that ruck area. They're just tired. They've just made plenty of tackling, but good backing up once again. Nice, quick, crisp, quick passing around the ruck area. Watch this here. Short ball, bang. He's looking for players. There he is, Joel Moon. Joel Moon knows he can't get on the outside, and Eastwood backs up beautifully, as they have done all day long, the Brisbane side. And I talk about those tackles. 263 against 183. Look, they can hold their heads down, but they have done a mountain of work up against the Brisbane side that was soon enough going to hit form, and they've hit it today.
And there's the extra 2 from Parker. It's not Parker, in fact, it's Michael Ennis who's having a kick. My apologies for that. 53-6. It just gets worse for the Brisbane Broncos.
Just great ball. It just shows you when you're on form and you can create these sort of opportunities for each other. But I've got to say, I did mention how many tackles they have made, but they have to tighten up their ruck defence if they're going to be any sort of threat or stop the opposition from being a threat when they've got the ball in their hands. They're just going to work harder from marker.
And it takes it forward.
He's had a good game, hasn't he, Hannah? 16 tackles, 10 hit-ups, a little bit of time on the bench. He's worked hard for a spot here. Look at them lining up now to run out dummy half. Tate, there he goes. Nice and wide again.
Here's Carroll offloading to Darius Boyd. He'll be disappointed he hasn't scored a try yet. 9 tries to 1. Sean Berrigan coming from the field for the Brisbane Broncos as Parker is tackled. That will see him back with 13 to go. Here's Hunt kicking. Hodges for a hat-trick. Parker gets the bounce. He's away from Gordon. He offloads to Tony Carroll, and Tony Carroll gets himself a double. Well, it was a big night on Wednesday night for the Queenslanders. A big night
That'll be the
today.
last. I'm going to check it for onside at the kick.
It's a big day today for the Brisbane Broncos fans. This to make it 57-6.
This is a good call by the referee, Ben Cummings. I had my doubts. I thought they may be offside on this left-hand edge. Take a close look at it. It happened all so quick. Hunt going to the line. And there is...
Corey Parker's offside for start. Hannett's offside. And
they get themselves involved. It'll be interesting to see. Well, he's in an offside position here. Corey Parker picks the ball up.
Yep.
No try.
No try.
I just thought it was a good call by the referee because the naked eye, I just thought they were in an offside position. And Corey Parker was the man who picked up the ball, then gave it on to Carroll. There they are there, way in front. The other two players are onside, but they don't actually get the ball.
I mean, he should know that, Corey Parker. He's looking straight across. Clearly offside. And so it'll be a penalty to Newcastle, and the celebrations will have to be put on hold.
Well, I just think that you play in the second row. You just get there as quick as you can. He may have looked over to see where the referee was, but this is a good young referee making the right decisions.
There's Steve Nash. It'll be no try penalty. In front of the kicker, Tony Carroll knows it. I think everyone in the stadium knew it.
I think they all knew it down on that paddock too, just quietly.
Corey Parker, the man in front of the kicker.
Or he's in front of it, he picked the ball up at the same time. If it had gone past him straight to Carroll, they probably would have played on. Brisbane boys are very happy.
Here's Young taking the tap. Can the Knights score a try before full time? 53-6. Snowden towards the 40.
I've been impressed with the way Ennis has played halfback today too. A lot of pressure on the kid who usually a hooker in the competition. Come up here to play for Brisbane a couple of years ago and then did his knee, and I think he's handled that position all right.
Well, they've been searching for a halfback. Shane Perry played for Redcliffe yesterday in the Queensland Cup, and Brent McCollum, who they bought from the Young Guns or North Queensland Cowboys in the off-season, continues to play for Aspley, so he's obviously not the answer, they believe. Maybe it is Michael Ennis. Now here's Newton in his 100th game. Can he score? No, he can't. He's only 5 metres out, though. Darius Boyd with the tackle. Here's Young. Must score, surely. Riley Brown, no! Stephen Michaels knocks it down. The pass was forward anyway, they say. Well, they bombed another one, the Knights.
Oh, I thought that was all right, that pass. Oh, I thought that was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. Caruana, the 6, put the pass on. He can't believe it. A little bit disappointed with that because I thought the pass was good.
Hodges. Inside the 20. Tackled there by Kupavuna and McDougall. I think Justin Hodges will be looking forward to the end of the game. There's still 10 minutes to go, Justin. He's out on his feet, isn't he? Although, when there was a chance for him to get his hat-trick here before, didn't he spark up, Gary?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think any player would spark up. You've got to try and get 3 in a game of football.
There's Parker playing it. Perry over the top. There's David Stagg out of acting half. Perry there with a tackle again. Now comes to Joel Moon, kicking straight down the middle of the field. Gordon has it covered. with a little bit of a juggle. Coming to McDermott, going towards that touchline, and Eastwood, he throws the ball back on the inside to Vuna, who's going towards touch. The way you run towards there when you're returning it, that pass was flat at best, and McDougall was the man that gave it to Corey Patterson. Well, that was a script, and I thought there was two in the tackle. Michaels has come up with it. And Clinton Newton is the man that lost possession. Many coaches would like that sort of a talent on their bench, Gary Freeman, as we look at Lockyer, Sivanasiva, Berrigan and Thorne.
Yeah, it's a great talent of players, isn't there, in certain positions that you need in your team. I'll tell you what, they're still going all right here, Brisbane.
Eastwood. That's tackle number 2. So plenty up their sleeve here, and Hodges looking for that third. Carlaw back to Corey Parker. Forward pass, surely to Carmichael Hunt. He flicks it out the back to Joel Moon. Well, Ben Cummins was right in line with it. He says it's okay, and Joel Moon adds to the pain of the Newcastle Knights. 57-6.
Oh, I thought the ball was forward too. It was right in front of the referee. He's made a lot of real good decisions today, Ben Cummins, but this here was the ball strip. Well, you'd have to say yes, there wasn't 2 in the tackle, so to me it was fair enough.
I thought there was.
That was all right. Once again, Hodges jumping out of dummy half, but what about this interchange of passing? This is what they've been known for. That ball there, that was about half a metre for him. I think that Joel Moon.
But he's right in line with it. He was. This is now the biggest losing margin ever for the Newcastle Knights, surpassing the 50-point margin when they were beaten by Parramatta in 2005, 50-0, and 64-14 by Cronulla in 2002.
Can I say this? He's had a very good game, Ben Cummins. He's only made that one error. Let's not hold that against him. I think he's had a fine game.
I'm not.
That's fine. Well, I'm just saying. The way you looked at me, I know the fans out there couldn't see that look, but
I just look at you that way anyway.
Oh, dear.
Here's Ennis from right in front, adds the extras. 59 points to 6. Just seems so long ago that Darren Lockyer popped that field goal before half-time to try and put it out of the reach of Newcastle. Here comes Justin Hodges from the field for Brad Thorne to go on. He won't get his hat-trick. He's going to join those 3 on the bench. Thorne goes on, and Justin Hodges, he'll fall asleep. Look, he's shaking his head.
he does look a bit tired. I just don't know how Brad Thorne's going to go in the centres. Might be a little bit hard to handle.
Here's Carlaw returning the football, and up there to meet him is Michael Young. The end can't come quick enough for the Newcastle Knights. Here's Hannon up towards the 20 and over it by a couple of metres, and good run there from Bennett Hannon, who's played very well today. The Brisbane scored a try. Ennis on the back the half. Here's Tate now. Moon, Parker, straightening. Clinton Newton is there. Carlaw running the angle, hitting a solid tackle. How did he not lose that football? Corey Patterson, the man. Last here for the Brisbane Broncos. Carmichael Hunt just kicking into the corner. And Gordon inside his own 10 finds McManus. Hannon missed him, but follow-up defence was solid from Dane Carlaw. Ty running across field, hit by Steve Michaels. They're only up to the 20. They've had a couple of tackles here at the Newcastle side, and just making very hard work of getting out of their own end. They're exhausted as well. Here's Clint Newton. What a way to play his 100th. He's lost the ball. Carlaw can't dive on it. Tried to tap it on. You've got to feel sorry for that man. He's playing his 100th first grade game, and it's one that he won't want to remember.
Yeah, he hasn't had the happiest day with the ball in his hand, but I'll tell you what, both sides have put on some big hits here today. No one of them come up with a drop ball here and there. And all in all, it's been, even though you look at the scoreline, it's been a very entertaining game of football. They had to work hard the first 40 minutes, Brisbane, and then it sort of opened up in the second half for them.
Here's Thorne. shy of the 30-metre line. So inside the final 5 minutes, can the Broncos hit 60? Their biggest winning margin is 54 points. At the moment, they stand at 53. Here's Tony Carroll, almost backing his way towards the 10-metre line. Riley Brown makes the tackle. Steve Michaels now. He's only a couple of metres away from the line. Parker, Moon. Here's Darius Boyd. Long ball. Stagg looking into the sun. Bounces off the chest. McDougall makes the tackle. It's the last tackle here for the Brisbane Broncos. 4 minutes of play remain. Here's the kick from Moon. It's into open space. Hannett chasing. Can't get there.
Well, mate, if there's anyone who deserves a try, there's the big front row, Ben Hannett. He has tried, he scored one in the first half, I should say. He deserves another one. That's the man there on screen. He has done a heap of work here today and deserved the starting lineup spot in this Brisbane side.
Here's Reynoldson taking it forward and trying to offload. I suppose you can't blame him trying to promote the football, but he's just handed an opportunity to Brisbane on a platter to record their biggest ever win in the club's history. Ennis out of acting half. Here's Hannett. Reynoldson hangs on, brings him to ground. They're 5 metres away from the line. Opportunities left and right for the Broncos. They go to the right. Ennis, Carlaw turning his back and tackle. Still 5 away from the line. Ennis goes back to Moon. Moon now to Darius Boyd. They're going backwards, Brisbane. Boyd running across field, trying to link with someone. Eastwood, they got numbers here. Tate throws the dummy. Tate accelerates. Tate looks for his winger. Stagg, who's come on the inside. 6 metres away. The Knights are holding at the moment. Brisbane looking for their biggest win ever. It's on the ground. Who wants it? They get it back. 6 to go. They've got another 6 chances. Ennis out of acting half. Here's Parker. Reynoldson, I should say Newton there with the tackle. Reynoldson in there as well. Ennis to Tony Carroll. Can he back up? He's got there. There's the record. The Brisbane Broncos. Biggest winning margin now. 63 to 6. It's now 57 points the difference. Surpassing the 60 to 6 win over North in 1998. And the 58-4 win over the Cowboys also in 98. This is a new club record for the Broncos. And it comes when they're sitting on the bottom of the table.
Yeah, well, like we said at the start of the game, that things were going to turn around. And I just believe that after playing State of Origin, that these players would come back to this side and really lift the intensity about how they have played in the season in 2007. And we've been proven right here, Mark. They really have stepped up to the mark. All the players. Carroll going over the score this last minute ditch try. I've got to say this though, Newcastle, they've worked very, very hard, but I tell you what, the amount of tackles they've had to do, the amount of time they spent in their own half, it's been very, very difficult for them to get on the front foot throughout this match.
Well, the Broncos fans, over 27,000 of them, have finally got something to celebrate. They celebrated Queensland's win on Wednesday night. Now they can celebrate a club record win by the Brisbane Broncos on the Sunday afternoon. Standing ovation for the Broncos players as they head back to the southern end of Suncorp Stadium. Here's Mick Ennis. He increases the margin and sets an even higher benchmark. 65 to 6, 59 points, the winning margin.
And it just shows you how tired some of these Newcastle players are. Brad Tye running up out of the line, put his inside man under all sorts of pressure. They've got to try and hold together. But what about the kickers I've used today? Parker, Lockyer, and then Ennis. They have got it covered.
Here's Hannett. Running as hard now as he did in the first minute of the game. Linking up with Parker. Parker had Tony Carroll looking for a hat-trick, but he was covered by the Knights trainer. Quick play the ball. Now it comes to Michaels, taken to ground by McManus. They want another one with only 14 seconds to go. It comes from Ennis to Moon to Thorne. Hawthorn to Carlaw. Carlaw pops it for Eastwood. Here's a great try. The Broncos, it's razzle-dazzle at Suncorp Stadium, and they've left the best to last. Darius Boyd scores a wonderful rugby league try. That was terrific. 69-6. They're about to hit 70. They won't want to go home, the Broncos fans.
Well, let's put this all down to Ben Hannett. He really caught the ball, got them over the advantage line, got the pass off. Now this is the end result. There, Carlo, the ball there. As he's going to ground, Eastwood picks up Darius Boyd, who races around 20-odd metres to score the try. But I do go back to the kickoff, mate, because that's where it all started. Ben Hannett, the big front rower, has had a magnificent game, led by example, got the ball off to Parker, who then got caught down the corner. Then they went 2-3 passes wide, and they were just too tired. The Newcastle side really did struggle defensively in the end and making over 300 tackles in the game.
Mick Ennis adds the extra points. Full time here at Suncorp Stadium. What a win, a club record win to the Brisbane Broncos. Brisbane 71 have defeated Newcastle 6. And a man I'm sure who is very happy but also very tired downstairs is Justin Hodges, Justin, Mark Braybrook and Gary Freeman. That's coming back into form, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Something that's been building for a while. We really needed that win today, especially back up from Origin. We haven't had too much success lately, so it's just a credit to the boys to come out tonight and play awesome.
And Justin, you said you were building up for this win. Did you believe that after playing State of Origin that you would have had that infectious meaning to this game against Newcastle?
Yeah, that's something we've been looking for all week. We haven't really produced our best for a very long time now, and we think we owe it to our fans and to ourselves that we really need to put a good game together.
Well, mate, did you really think that you could get away with this sort of scoreline today? Because they're not a bad side, Newcastle, but you just really commanded right from the opening start of how you were going to play.
Yeah, it's probably a scoreline we didn't really intend to put on, but things worked out our way. We stuck to what we needed to do all game, and it showed. It paid off in the end.
Justin, thanks for your time, mate. Go and have a sleep.
All the best.
Thanks a lot, guys.
So Justin Hodges there. I'm sure he's a very tired man, but he's a happy man as well. He got himself a double, and we saw some terrific tries here this afternoon. And the last one was a ripper, a man who played a big role here this afternoon, as he did on Wednesday night. I'm sure he's as tired as all the other Broncos Origin players. I speak of Carmichael Hunt and Carmichael, Mark Braybrook and Gary Freeman. That was a terrific win. It must have been just great to be amongst all that out there.
Yeah, it was, mate. Obviously, we come off a good win on Wednesday night in the Origin, and it's good to get back and play with our boys that we've been playing with all year. And obviously, we haven't been going too good, but we put in a good performance today.
And what about that win here today? We just said to Justin, did you feel it through the week, or like yesterday or Thursday, Friday at training, that you're going to have this sort of performance?
Well, mate, we always knew that we were due. We didn't know we were going to go this good, but obviously an air of confidence were around the boys all week when we got back from Origin, and the other boys fed off it. So all credit to the coaching staff. I'm sure they put in a lot of work before Wednesday, and then when us Origin boys come in, we just put the shine on it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you did put a bit of shine on today. Michael Innes playing in the halfback role, usually a hooker. He did a pretty fantastic, well, I believe he had a fantastic game.
Yeah, I believe he had an awesome game as well. Obviously, he's got all the attributes of a halfback. He's been playing dummy half for the last couple of years, but he put in a good effort for us today.
Justin, you think today, Carmichael, you think today may be the turning point? Sorry, Where's be quiet? Do you think today may be the kickstart the season needs?
Yeah, I think it is a kickstart. Obviously, we needed this win, but we didn't expect we were going to go this well. So obviously we've got a short turnaround. We're going to have to get stuck into it come Tuesday.
And just one quick question, mate. Your forwards really did lay a great platform, but I thought Ben Hannett, who was going to start from the bench, was start of the game today, was probably one of your best.
Yeah, but he was one of our best. He started his first game last week against Manly and backed it up again today. So all credit goes to him for training out all week and putting a good performance, which we needed.
Carmichael, thanks for your time, mate. Go and join your mates.
Thanks, mate.
Carmichael Hunt there, the fullback, Queensland, Australian and Brisbane fullback. And what a win it has been this afternoon for the Brisbane Broncos, 71 points to 6. They tried hard, the Newcastle Knights side this afternoon, but they came up against a white-hot Brisbane side. And one man that we do feel very sorry for in his 100th first-grade game is Clint Newton. He's taken his time to join us. Clint, Mark Braybrook and Gary Freeman, thanks for your time. They were just too good, mate.
Yeah, they were. That's the sort of Brisbane that come so used to seeing year in and year out. They're a class team, and just fantastic effort from their boys, especially with 7 Origin players backing up, and it's just a great effort, coached by obviously a good man.
I'll tell you what, a little bit disappointed for you missing the likes of Gidley, Medeiros and Simpson. That's a massive blow for your side.
It is, you know, when you take those sort of senior players out of your team, you're behind the 8 ball, but in saying that, I mean, we're human. We should be able to get in front of them and stop them, and we just didn't turn up today, and that's what can happen, and it's extremely disappointing.
Well, it will be disappointing, mate, but when you're looking at Newcastle, you had to make over 100 odd extra tackles than the Brisbane side, so, and you also spent a lot more time in your own half, so trying to get out of that was the hardest part for you.
Yeah, it was. They've got such a big forward pack, and when they just keep rolling forward, it just makes it really hard to then sort of turn around and then grind it out from your own half. Like you said, when we didn't have a whole lot of ball in good field position, and we spent basically the whole game coming out in yardage, and just really makes it tough. And in games like today, it's all about possession, and obviously they had a fair bit of it.
And Clinton, it's always, every game's important, but after a loss, you've got to get back on that bike straight away, don't you? And the Roosters, they'll be flying high after their win last night. You've got them next week at Blue Tongue Stadium.
Yeah, you certainly do. You don't want to compound a loss with another loss. Every game's crucial. It's a pretty tight race at the moment. So the Roosters, again, they're coached by obviously a good coach with a lot of experience. And they've got some quality players in the likes of Tupu and Minicello and Craig Fitzgibbon. So they're definitely going to be tough next week, and we've just got to go home and sort of lick our wounds and sort of tear in next week.
Mate, thanks for your time in difficult circumstances, but congratulations on reaching a terrific milestone, 100 first-grade games. Well done.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say thanks for all my supporters over the last 100 games. It's been a privilege and an honour to play for the Newcastle Knights, and I'd just like to thank everyone.
Good on you, mate. Clint Newton there. Quality person, so well done, Clint Newton. And it's a shame that a milestone like that, Gary, is on the end of a scoreline. The biggest ever loss for Newcastle, the biggest ever win for the Brisbane Broncos.
It is, but I've got to say, he is one player that will put his hand up week in, week out for the Newcastle side. Look, they'll all be disappointed in this result, but when they go back and look at how they played, there are a few areas that they can fix up, which they will have to fix up against the Roosters next week. That defensive lapse around that ruck area is an area that will be targeted by Brian Smith, their coach, to say, look, if we can fix this up, then we can attack, and then they've got to improve their kicking game.
We will take a break here from Suncorp Stadium. NRL Sunday continues on the other side of the break as we look back on some of those great Brisbane Broncos tries.